Okay, I hope this is live. I don't know 100% because I'm not checking the YouTube feed to make sure. But one way or the other, this will be uploaded either momentarily or we'll just upload the unabridged version. But welcome to Greatest Movie of All Time podcast. I'm Tom Duncan.
And I'm Dana Duncan.
And this is our end of year review 2025 slash 2027 schedule draft slash CLP submissions. It's a catch-all smorgasbord of different things that we're going to be covering tonight. So first, let's just take a quick look back at everything from this year. We did cover our 250th episode when we covered Schindler's List back in March.
Yes, we did.
I thought it was a very good episode.
Yes.
So any additional thoughts on that?
No, it's, as we'll get to the list, that was my top movie.
Now, we covered 51 different, or released 51 different episodes this year. We didn't cover 51 new movies because we do so many revisits anymore for holidays, probably about 8 in total. But are there any that immediately offhand that like stick out to you as favorites from this year?
I enjoyed Heat. I hate to say this, but I'm at the age where stuff blends together pretty quick. So I'd have to say no, there isn't anything that stands out per se. As we start going through it, I think I'll probably be able to think more of it, but I didn't really look at the list over.
Okay.
In advance.
So we started the year with Barry Lyndon and Andrew and Sarah. So that was a fun start to the year. We did end up covering 4 of the 5 Best Picture nominees from 1975 this year, including a revisit of Jaws that we'll get back to here in a second. We did Bad Day at Black Rock with Kieran, did MASH with Adam, The Shop Around the Corner with Peterson, La Dolce Vita with Peterson, Shampoo. I think that's probably a favorite in there.
Yes.
We did The Breakfast Club, which I don't even remember doing at this point. Yeah. You did your bonus episode of Simon Says, did Schindler's, did Coal Miner's Daughter, did Aaron Brockovich with Ryan Luis Rodriguez. So we've had a lot on that front. Then we did Grapes of Wrath with Kieran, Toy Story with Allison, Patton with Sarah again, Ex Machina with Shane, which was a favorite of mine for this year because I was introduced to that movie and I thought it was fantastic. American Psycho with VP Morris. We did a revisit of Caddyshack with Joe Beccari. We did Gladiator with Rob and Kieran. We did all 3 Star Wars movies. We did a redux going back to the first season of the show. We recovered Back to the Future and completely reset that on our list. Toy Story 2. We did Nashville with Scott Cole. We did Inside Out, which another favorite episode of the show, I think, this year. The Apartment with Mom. We did Elmer Gantry with Shoot the Flick, and they'll be back this next season. We did our Jaws revisit, as I mentioned a second ago. Inception with Walter Gaynor. Toy Story 3 with Terry Bartley. The Night of the Hunter with Ryan Luis Rodriguez. We did The Usual Suspects. I know that was a highlight of your year. The Social Network with Peterson, which we revisited again from season 1. All Quiet on the Western Front with Sarah. My little sister Sarah, not Sarah Shea. Peter Panchali with Peterson. Sunset Boulevard with Frank Mendoza. Almost Famous, which you unfortunately were not able to be a part of, but was another favorite of mine to cover this year or be introduced to for the first time.
I did like the film. I did manage to see it. I just got sick right before the show and couldn't go.
Yeah. Ordinary People with Frank Mendoza. 7 with Peterson. The Martian with Braden. Spartacus with Peterson. Rebel Without a Cause with Peterson. I mean, there's a running theme here. All About Eve with Jailen Salman. We did Requiem for a Dream. We did Men of Honor, The American President, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, The Lost Weekend. We revisited Psycho again. And then you mentioned Heat, Raging Bull. And we have one more episode coming out in a couple of days with Promising Young Woman, which will be the last release of the final 2 films on the Cinema Legacy poll for 2025. You will have to stay tuned to find out what made it to the top. But right now we have all but 2 films released of the 122 that were included. I think for most people, they could probably guess what the final 2 are going to be, but even so, we'll celebrate those in their own due time. But any other major highlights here?
3 things. Night of the Hunter, Elmer Gantry are 2 films that I really enjoyed a lot. And actually, the further removed I get from having watched Nashville, the more I like it. I don't
Scott
get it.
Cole will be very pleased to hear that.
Then the other comment I would make is I think I've seen Peterson more this year than I've seen 2 of my 3 children.
That's probably true.
So maybe I'll have to have him as an adopted son.
He's welcome to come to Wisconsin whenever he'd like. He does travel.
Yeah, I know. I don't think he'll want to come in January or February, though.
I don't know. He's got enough thick chest hair that he's shown off on different episodes of the show that maybe it won't affect him that much.
Is that chest hair? I thought maybe he was like auditioning for Planet of the Apes.
The new Star Wars movie?
Yes.
The Abominable Snowman or Yeti or whatever the fuck that is.
Yes.
Or Chewbacca. There you go. That was the low-hanging fruit, and I missed that one. Oh, well.
Anyway.
We did reach 50,000 total downloads in the audio space this year, which it's not an insignificant number for doing 6 seasons of the show. We also had our best ever month of downloads in the entirety of the show in October, where it far surpassed any of our expectations. Now, we haven't gotten near those heights in the last couple of months, but the growth of the show has been, I think, one of the big stories of the season for me.
Yeah, I've been happy with it. So I'm sometimes surprised that so many people actually listen to us, but
yeah, just a few. And we've definitely got some people that have reached out to us from all over the globe to try and share with us, and we appreciate hearing from you at any time. So certainly keep that up if you wish. We're always glad to hear from fans and take requests and do other things to try and, I don't know, meet people where they're at, I guess. We're not too big to not be responsive yet. Let's say that.
Did we ever get any feedback on our merch store idea?
We got a couple of people that suggested we do like a beefcake calendar, but that was more sarcastic than anything.
Okay.
So no, right. I don't think there's enough supply out there to make it go at this point in time yet.
Well, okay. I mean, if we did a beefcake calendar, it'd probably be pictures of Wisconsin cows.
But anyway, that'll cover it for 2025. Looking ahead quickly to 2026, I'm just teasing a few of the highlights that I think are going to be on the show this coming year. We do have an early selection of a lot of kind of early films. So we've got some from the 30s, like all lined up here in the beginning. And we even have what will eventually be our oldest film to date that we'll be discussing for our 300th episode. And that will be coming roughly on February 18th with The General, which will have my little sister Sarah again on the show. We have a few new guests that we're planning on having coming up. We will be having a new guest for our Zootopia episode, which will be coming out the first week of March. We will have a live Oscars preview. Roughly, I believe that's got to be on March 7th because of the timing of everything and my schedule, because I believe the week before that, I have to be in Cleveland again for school. We're going to be covering Memento in March, although I think that episode won't release until April 1st. We'll be covering A Place in the Sun, which is another one of these personal favorites of mine that I watched for the AFI Top 100 list that I'm going to be very happy to share with you. We have one of our favorite guests on for that one, Kieran B. we finally get to the long-awaited requested episode by VP Morris. She has been asking since she was on originally for Scream 3 years ago to do Gilda, and that'll be coming to you for April 29th. We have A Knight's Tale, which happens to be one of my guilty pleasure movies, coming up in the middle of May. We have our first tiebreaker in several years with The Hangover versus The Bridge on the River Kwai versus Vertigo. That's going to be a week where you have to watch all three and kind of come up with stuff. We have our team from the original Star Wars movie that we covered earlier this year coming back to do a film by somebody that I'm not particularly enamored with, and that'd be Michael Bay. We're doing The Rock with Shane Rogers and Jesse Sertle.
That's not a bad film.
I've never seen it, so I don't know. I'm going to hope that it's okay. We're covering another Billy Wilder classic with Ace in the Hole. We've got Clute coming up with a couple of our favorite guests, Scott Cole and Peterson Hill. We've got Terminator 2 finally on the schedule after years of teasing that one. We're supposed to have both of my sisters on for Legally Blonde.
Wonder how that ranking's going to go.
Yeah. We're going to be covering another tiebreaker later in the year between Casablanca and Rear Window, two films inside of our top 10, and that will be with my mother for our 325th episode. So that's our way of bringing you like one of those top tiers at each of the 25s. We're going to be covering Notorious, which you said was one of your final cuts on your CLP before you got to your 50. We have La La Land coming up. We have Arrival coming up, both from 2016. We're going to be visiting Zoolander finally. We've got what is, to me, one of my personal favorite movies in The Departed coming up, roughly that first week of October. And we're going to have the ladies from Movies and Us back for yet another Scorsese film for that one. At least this one I like. So just teasing that if you've listened to our Raging Bull episode. We've got Moonlight coming up. We've got Carrie for our Halloween episode, which will come out, I think, the week after Halloween, but still. We have The Prestige with Heather Stewart coming up. We've got our specialty JFK episode that will be leading into Thanksgiving week with Ralph Esparza, and that's going to be coinciding with the launch of a special project that you've got going on. Is there anything you want to tease here?
Well, we are talking about it being the JFK the film JFK, and I think I think I can pretty much say that this will be a podcast that will be devoted to study of the Kennedy assassination. It's been a long time interest of mine in large part, and I'll probably get into it more, but I was born 5 days after the assassination, so it just kind of has been something that's been a significant part of my life since I was a child. And it's just something that fascinates me, and it's going to be something that's going to be able to be mass consumed. It's the ultimate true crime podcast. So,
all right. And then finally, we're going to end the year with 3 straight episodes of Rob Conlon coming back to cover the Lord of the Rings trilogy with us. So I'm looking forward to that one. I can't say you're looking forward to it, as fantasy and that kind of stuff has never really been your thing.
I will, like I said, I will sit and watch. I tried to get through the first several, and I had a difficult time. But I'm older now and more inclined to try and be patient on certain things. And so I will try and sit through them and I won't be so critical. Let's put it that way.
Well, I don't care if you're critical. I just understand that most people really love and appreciate those movies, much like myself. So,
yeah.
But somebody's got to take the hit, I guess. You do you, boy. Anyway, I hope we talked about a few of your favorites upcoming on our schedule for next year. I think we've got some exciting stuff there. But let's move to our season, I think it's 8 draft here for 2027, since our schedule for 2026 has already been decided. Now, the first thing that I'd like to do this evening, coming in from the
prodigal
top
son hath
row.
returned.
Oh, with
Hi,
the
son.
echo.
What's going on?
Oh, nothing. Just a live feed that everybody can see, and still trying to show off the chest hair, aren't we?
Yeah, it's not Christmas yet. It comes out
Yes,
farther.
and you're
Christmas.
wearing a sweater under your sweater.
Yeah, look, Robin Williams was probably never cold a day in his life.
Neither was Austin Powers, but you know.
Right, baby.
So we were just about to move into the 2027 schedule drafting, and we talked about putting some theme months back on the show. So, Dad, I'm going to give you first pick. What kind of theme month did you come up with that you would like us to do?
I would like to have the best or a theme month with one-hit wonder directors.
One-hit wonder directors. Okay.
Where a director does a high-quality film and that's it. There is not a whole lot of other anything in his arsenal or her arsenal. It's they did a film that was great and never basically heard from them again. Or they never achieved anywhere close to the same level.
Orson Welles?
Kind of, yeah. That was what kind of gave me. The other one's Frank Darabont.
Frank Darabont's done a couple of other movies. I think The Green Mile was nominated for Best Picture.
Well, okay. But it's limited.
And y'all did Night of the Hunter.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
That's
Charles
a
Lawton.
huge one.
Yep.
Yeah, but we just covered that this year, so unfortunately that would be out on the potential there. But I'll be curious to see what you come up with for that list. You can come up with 3 for your theme month.
Okay.
Because that's all we're going to have space for.
I will see what I can do.
That's fine. I'm going to draft worst Best Picture winners.
We've already done the worst Best Picture winner.
No, we haven't. We are
Which
going
one
to
are you
be
thinking?
covering all the King's Men when it comes to that episode.
No,
That is
that's
not the
not
worst Best Picture, Tom.
No.
You know it's not.
No.
Okay. Yes,
No.
it is. It has been repeatedly the bottom of my Best Picture rankings list that I've now
Yours.
done 4 straight years. Okay, and number 2, Tom Jones.
Okay. But what about
Over
the
Cimarron.
greatest world or the
Greatest Show on
Show on
Earth,
Earth?
I think, was number 5 from the bottom.
Yeah.
Cimarron is also on that list.
well, that's number 1 for overacting.
Well, no, you haven't seen Cavalcade. Cavalcade is like British aristocracy from the Victorian era overacting.
Okay.
It is putrid. But Cimarron is like authentic frontier gibberish overacting.
Yes.
All right, so we have both of those, and we will slot those in where we have some availability. But now we're going to go down the list of potential ratings. But before we get to that, I just want to say anything that was on the Cinema Legacy poll list that we have not yet covered, and there were 49 different films that we did not cover, will be available for automatic entry onto the schedule. So that does limit the amount of other things that we can put on there. So, for example, January 20th, 2027, we will be covering Wings. That will be the release date for that. February 10th will be Cabaret. March 3rd, Nosferatu. April 7th, this was a promise we made to our super fan from Australia. We're doing The Castle, which will be released on April 7th. May 19th, we're doing No Country for Old Men. June 23rd, The Thing, followed by Blade Runner on June 30th. We are covering The Princess Bride on September 22nd. There Will Be Blood on the 29th of September. Ikiru on October 6th. October 13th, we'll be doing Boogie Nights. November 3rd, The Great Titanic. November 17th, Malcolm X. Lawrence of Arabia on December 8th. December 15th, The Graduate. And finally, to round out that year, we'll be doing Jackie Brown on December 22nd. So those movies have already been slotted into the schedule automatically for their anniversaries because they were on the CLP list. But I have a selection here of 62 different movies that you can pick from, and you'll give a rating 1 out of 5. Okay?
All right. So this is where wanting to see how the sausage is made. So I'm
Correct.
ready for the onslaught of hatred of how I do this. Go ahead.
Number 1, Michael Clayton.
5.
Okay.
Have you seen it, Dana?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We covered it for a guest spot we did on, I think it's Movies Across the Pod or something to that effect. But
yeah, I love it. I love the performances in it.
All right, number 2, The Shape of Water.
1.
Okay. 3, Chicago.
I liked it, but it was a little cheesy. I'll go with 3 or 4. I'll go 4.
And Peterson, you're welcome to jump in here at any point and ridicule him as you wish.
Well, I would say Chicago's a great pick, and if you put it close to when Cabaret comes out, then there's a lot of Fosse in Chicago because obviously he was the original director and choreographer on stage. So, Chicago's a great film. It's fun.
I will say we can only pick 18 out of these 62, so narrowing this down may be a little bit tricky. But all right, number 4, Witness for the Prosecution.
5.
Mrs. Miniver at number 5 here.
I like the film. It's a little dated. I'll go with a 4.
Okay. A film that I recently rewatched and that you kind of caught most of it with me a few weeks ago, and that'd be Django Unchained.
Actually, it just looked odd to me when when the trailers and the little bit I saw, but actually sitting and watching about 75% of it with you, it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. So I'd give that a 4.
Okay. 1982's Best Picture winner, Gandhi.
2.
Really?
Right.
Yes, I saw it for
Gandhi
Andrew's
is so
show,
much better than a 2.
and I don't need to see it again for another 20 years.
But is there much to talk about with Gandhi, Tom?
Yes, I could talk for a couple of hours on Gandhi right now.
Maybe.
You just don't get it. All right. 1932's The Grand Hotel.
3.
Okay.
Lionel Barrymore's worth more than a 3, but the rest of it's
All right. This is on a personal advocacy level for me. I have what was my number 5 entrant on the CLP list that I submitted, 1962's Harakiri.
I have not seen it. I probably should. So I will put that as a 5 simply because I think it's important for us to have more international films on the show. And it is something I should see.
I agree. Now, so far we only have 3 5s out of the first 9, so just keep that in mind. Number 10, we have the first ever talking film. I was going to say picture, and then I kind of muffled the two. The Jazz Singer from 1927.
You ever seen it, Dana?
No, but it's Jolson, and it's so historically relevant.
It's
gotta be
historically
a
relevant,
5.
but the movie is not good. I'll just say that.
I know,
much.
but it's maybe 5, maybe a 4.
Is it maybe a 5 or is it maybe a 4?
4.
Okay. All right.
You're
Another
limited.
Best Picture winner here from 1937, The Life of Emile Zola.
First courtroom drama.
4.
All right. I think that's a little bit underrated, and I think people judge it a little harshly just based on the period in which it was made. It's not going to hold the attention as much as some others, but it's a decent film for 1937.
It's kind of like watching paint dry, though.
at spots. It is a little bit dry and elongated for unnecessary reasons, but okay. So we're going to have a string of 1937 movies here. Captain's Courageous.
Oh, the child actor. Isn't that? I'm going to go with a 4. I'm drawing a blank as to the child actor.
Okay.
He started out with Chaplin, and then he did Captain's Courageous, and there's an actual law about stealing your children's money in Hollywood.
Freddie Bartholomew is listed. I think he's the kid in this, or at least younger. But it was one of consecutive Oscars for Spencer Tracy, with Lionel Barrymore, Melvin Douglas, Mickey Rooney, and John Carradine.
I will go. Yeah, I'll stay with a 4, but that's 4 with an asterisk. That's something I might, if we don't have enough 5s, I may go back and say that should be on the list.
Okay. 1937's The Lost Horizon.
Not familiar with it at all.
Okay.
So I'll just give it a 3 because I don't know.
The original A Star is Born.
Oh, I've seen the other 3. I'll have to go with the 3 on this one.
Okay. Shanghai Express.
Not familiar with it.
Okay.
Again, a 3, I guess.
And I lost my place, so. All right. 1942, a film year that we covered recently on the Revisionist Almanac. I have 2 different ones here for your consideration. The Pride of the Yankees.
4.
Okay. And Yankee Doodle Dandy.
5.
All right.
Give me some Cagney.
I mean, I do love me some Cagney, partly because of that movie,
especially as a hoofer.
Yeah.
The house, the lake house, my mother-in-law always rents for us. There was Elizabeth Taylor had the house, and we actually stay in the house that she was in. And then Jimmy Cagney had a house that was like a half a block up.
Huh.
And they were friends, and they would all come and hang around and all that. Yeah.
All right. So moving on to 1947 selections here. And this is a little bit timely because it's the Christmas season, but we have The Bishop's Wife.
That is a film that I've always wanted to see, and I never have. I mean, it's one of the few Cary Grant films I have not seen. So I will give that a 5.
It's a sweet movie.
And then we have a little bit of an oversight by me here because The Red Shoes was actually on the CLP list. So I'll have to find a spot to slot that one as well here. But that's going to get automatic entry. So that's unfortunately for you a 5. But also from 1947, the Best Picture winner of that particular year, I believe we have Hamlet with Laurence Olivier.
Boy.
Are you familiar with the text?
Oh, yes. I'm familiar with Hamlet. I've seen it performed live, and it is Olivier.
We're up to 6. This is the 20th different film that we've got 61 here.
I will go 4 asterisk.
Now, 1952's Moulin Rouge.
No.
Number
1.
Okay. 1952's Ivanhoe.
3.
We've covered actually quite a few movies from 1952 so far. Now we get to the 1962 list here. We have The Music Man.
5. Absolutely love Bob Preston.
Yeah, he's fantastic in that movie. All right, The Longest Day.
I love that film. 5.
World War II movies are catnip to old men.
I know.
Okay.
What can I say?
All right. Here's your problem because we're up to 8 already and we can only pick 17 because of the red shoes. So, To Kill a Mockingbird.
5.
All right. And
Dana,
we haven't even gotten to some of the more modern entries here, like The Last Emperor.
I feel like, Dana, you would have...
That's a 2.
I feel like you would have gotten yourself a ticket to see the play.
I have not had an opportunity to see the play. It was performed in the area with Richard Thomas, but the money they wanted for it, I would have had to take out a second mortgage. And I'm like, nah, it's okay. I'll just watch the film.
Yeah. All right, we get to another film year that we have recently covered on the Revisionist Almanac. Bonnie and Clyde from 1967.
4.
All right, going to 1972, we have Deliverance.
Squealing like a pig.
4.
Okay. In 77's Annie Hall.
Oh, boy.
do you want to take that on?
Yeah.
Scott Cole's going to be very sad.
With a recently or not long deceased Diane Keaton and a film you hate.
And a spate of Woody Allen and Jeffrey Epstein pictures.
Yeah.
I say we tackle it.
Why not? I've only seen the film all the way through one time, and that had to be like 1980.
Spacey gave you numbers.
Yes.
Spacey gave you numbers.
The Spacey fans came out, so the Woody Allen fans can come out too. Oh, God. All right.
Maybe I can reach out and get... I actually have a contact information for Kevin Spacey, by the way.
You've been only saying that you were going to do it I don't know how many times. He is going through another trial. He's got to be out in the court of public opinion.
I know. Maybe we can get Kevin Spacey to be on for the annual.
So do it. Stop talking about it and just do it.
Okay. Honestly, he'd probably do it right now because he's doing every other half-assed Frank Sinatra bit.
Okay. And I had another double entry there. All right. The Goodbye Girl.
3. Doesn't age well, even though I do like Neil Simon.
Tootsie.
Dana loves Tootsie, don't you?
See, I love that film. I'm going to go 4 asterisk on that one, too.
All right. The Verdict.
How many we have at 5 right now?
Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And we can only have 17?
Well, we'll have to have a few backups, but yeah, roughly we're going to end up with 17. Well,
4.
actually it's 18 because the Red Shoes is
4.
Okay. And forgive me here, I have to respond to something.
Wait, Dana, didn't you guys just cover 82 with
Andrew?
Yeah. Where I can't remember where the verdict ended up for you guys.
I think it was on my Best Picture nominations list, and I can't remember everything that I had Newman as Best Actor, and I think he ended up winning the revised.
Yeah, he should. God, he's good.
Actually, I have my notes sitting here from that episode.
And didn't Blade Runner win?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, my notes here. I don't have to look very far. Fast Times. Bold. All caps. Underlined. Trash.
Yeah. I mean, I can't go wrong. 1980.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, yes.
1987, Fatal Attraction.
Yeah, that is such a huge film. 4 asterisk.
And again, for pronunciation's sake, it's asterisk, but okay. Moonstruck.
4.
All right. The Crying Game.
3.
So 92, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Scent of a Woman.
Hooah. 4.
Hoorah.
As Good as It Gets.
4 asterisk.
All right. I know where this one's going. L.A. Confidential.
5.
Didn't even have to think about it.
It's one of my favorite films.
All right. Gangs of New York.
There's a correct rating here.
4 asterisk. Asterisk.
Asterisk.
Asterisk.
Yes.
Asterisk.
The Pianist. Why don't we tackle some Roman Polanski?
3. It's
all right.
It's okay, but after that acceptance speech, I have a hard time paying any attention to
Adrian Brody.
Adrian Brody.
2007 again with Atonement.
Oh, 4.
All right. Juno.
4.
Argo.
Argo, fuck yourself. 4.
Okay. Life of Pi.
2.
Surprised you didn't go 1.
Oh, okay. So, Peterson, do you want to make a guess at what this one's going to be? Lincoln.
Dana hates history.
He hates Spielberg.
He hates old men arguing in rooms.
This was in my top 25 on CLP.
So good. It is so good.
I know. It's a 5.
Let me take a look here because I didn't think I remembered seeing it, but
I'm pretty sure I put it in there.
Dana, let's see here.
See, you got to think right now. Dana's.
It is not in your top 50.
Oh, it is not. How did I miss that?
Dana is the one clothed in immense power right now.
That is correct. So yes, I guess Lincoln is going in. Zero Dark 30.
3.
Skyfall.
How's the James Bond rankings going?
He hasn't finished, and we're going live next Monday.
I know. I'll give it. I'll get
He's got
it
like
done.
4 films to crash through.
I have been working like a dog all weekend trying to get everything done before Christmas. So if you knew the amount of work I've put in, it will be nothing to get the remaining 4 Bond films done in the week. Because I can just kind of give you a hint as to where I'm possibly going. It's a 4 asterisk.
All right, a movie my mother said she saw, but then when I asked her what the peach scene was, she couldn't answer me. Call Me by Your Name.
3.
Come on, look, Army Hammer's another one. That guy's got controversy all over him. He eats
That
people,
is true.
or wants to.
That is true.
Yeah.
All right, this one I think Peterson's going to make a hearty argument for. Lady Bird.
I have not seen it.
Oh,
I am
Yes, you have. We watched
I
it
have
together. Yes.
No.
Yes.
You watched it with Mom. No.
I did, and you were there.
No, I was not. I have not seen it.
Horse apples, but okay, fine, whatever.
It is on my CLP at 28 or something, 27. My favorite actress.
I know. She's phenomenal. Just because I haven't seen it, I will give it a 5.
Okay. I believe that takes us up to
22.
5s? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right. Another one I have a feeling you're going to get a robust argument from Peterson for because it's PTA. Phantom Thread.
It's the best. It's like my 6th favorite PTA, but it's so good.
4.
3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Oh, I loved that film.
I liked it a lot too.
I thought it was the best film that year.
No, you didn't.
What did I have?
The next film I'm going to read you as soon as you give this one a number.
All right, I'm going to go 4 on this.
All right. With a extra push from Heather Stewart, who said she's calling her shot to already be on this episode, but Dunkirk.
Half a star?
Okay.
So, can Dana go low enough?
5.
So that's 14. So we have 3 more overall selections.
And how many films do we have left?
About 6 or 7 here.
Okay.
2022 is the last year that we would be eligible, and I have like 6 or 7 from that year alone. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
That is not a Dana movie.
He liked it more than my mother, but you are correct.
4 with the
Asterisk.
That's
asterisk.
higher than I thought.
The Banshees of Inisherin.
But you do like
It's a film I did not get when I watched it. I made more sense as time went by.
It's a 3-day film.
I'll go for asterisk.
Like basilisk. Anyway. Top Gun Maverick.
2.
Oh, God. You were going to get roasted for that one.
I know, I will.
Ooh.
I don't give a shit.
It almost be my
Women
CLP
talking.
50.
Women talking.
Ooh. 4.
Okay. That was your number 2 that year. The Fablemans.
4.
Oh, Dana. Did you see it?
Yes.
Oh,
He
did you
saw
cry?
I think everything but Avatar Way of Water that year. Tar.
3.
And
Didn't
All
get it.
Quiet on the Western Front, the German version.
Boy, I really like that. 4 asterisk.
Okay. So of all the asterisked ones, I'll let you, because we have technically 4 selections yet, I think you can make. I will let you have up to 8 of these, and let's see here. We have Captain's Courageous. That's 1. Hamlet 2. Tootsie 3. Fatal Attraction 4. As Good as It Gets 5. Gangs of New York 6. Skyfall 7. Everything All at Once. Everything Everywhere All at Once 8. Banshees of Inisherin 9. All Quiet on the Western Front 10. So you'd have to
All
cross off
Quiet.
at least 2 of those.
Okay, All Quiet on the Western Front should be on there. Skyfall will be on there. Captain's Courageous will be on there. Hamlet
Okay.
will be on there. Gangs of New York will be on there.
Okay.
Banshees will be on there. What's left?
Oh, As Good as It Gets, Fatal Attraction, Tootsie. And I think that's it. So you got to
Fatal
eliminate 2 of
Attraction.
those.
Fatal Attraction and Tootsie will be on.
Okay. So you've eliminated As Good as It Gets.
Which I feel bad about, but still.
So I will say,
And
James L. Brooks probably doesn't have that long with us.
I know. And actually, the best performance in that film is Greg Kinnear.
He's so good. God, he's good in that film.
I think there are a lot of good performances in that.
I know,
Oh,
but I
it's-
like
it's-
Greg Kinnear much, or as well as anybody.
Everyone is good in that movie. Everyone is.
Well, we'll
Yeah.
be covering Greg Kinnear here in a couple of weeks when we get to Little Miss
Little
Sunshine.
Miss Sunshine, yeah.
He's
good in
not
that,
the
too.
best performance in that movie. That's Alan Arkin, but he's still
Yeah.
pretty good.
I don't know. Dana's pretty good. He's really good in that movie.
You mean that weakling?
Weak sauce. Weak
Weak sauce. Yeah. Okay. All right. So here is the list of eligible revisit picks that we can make. And you have to pick 8. High Noon, Groundhog Day, Goodwill Hunting, Get Out, Singin' in the Rain, Dr. No, E.T., Reservoir Dogs, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, Superbad, The Bridge on the River Kwai, Unforgiven, The Dirty Dozen, Ocean's 13, Broadcast News, Slapshot, Full Metal Jacket, Sunrise, A Song of Two Humans, Cool Hand Luke, A Bridge Too Far, and The Greatest Show on Earth. You get to pick 8.
I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain.
Okay,
That's definitely.
that's 1.
Look, Bridge Too Far is a World War II film.
I know, but it's 3 hours plus, and
It's pretty boring.
Yeah, it's not the greatest film ever made.
Even though it's one of Dana's personal favorites.
Yeah, I know. For my what was it for one of my birthdays? I think I made everybody sit down and watch war films. We watched Patton, then we watched A Bridge Too Far, and I think there was only 2 people left awake about a third of the way through.
And that is kind of every dad's dream, though.
Yeah.
I think somebody recently on a show I was describing, I think it might have been Hassan Minaj, that was trying to query why dads of a certain age, like you get into your 40s, and all of a sudden you're like honing in on every Ken Burns documentary ever made. And I think his supposition, it might have been in his conversation with Malcolm Gladwell recently, where it was, first you're trying to figure out why you're here, then you're trying to figure out where you're headed, and then the final stage is where you've been. And so that's why once you get past those first two stages, you're trying to figure out like all of this historical stuff because it no longer applies to you. And also you can't picture yourself as a soldier anymore, so it's no longer traumatic. Such as if you're an 18-year-old and you're reading about guys having their limbs blown off, you're like, oh my God, I could still be drafted. What the fuck? But when you're 44 and you have flat feet and maybe diabetes, you can't
I'll tell
picture
you what
yourself there anymore.
You get to a point in your life where you're trying to think that you actually made a difference and that people will remember you. And so you're looking at any story about a common person that would not normally have something written or talked about. And so when you watch these documentaries, you're going, oh my God, so-and-so, just an average soldier, is being starred in this documentary, because that's every middle-aged guy's dream, is to have something
be featured in a Ken Burns documentary
to be memorized about.
So, Tom,
that's what I think it is.
Look, I'm about 10 months or 9 months from being 40. Do you know a book I just started listening to on tape? Because I don't have time to.
Paradise Lost.
No. James McPherson's Battle Cry of Freedom.
Okay, that's.
I read that about your age.
The definitive Civil War book.
You're taking your last steps into a much larger world.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you still have 7 picks here.
All right. What else did I? Okay,
I knew I was going to have to repeat this list 4 times. What now?
Did I give you high noon?
You did not.
Hold on, Kieran.
All right, I'll take high noon.
Howdy,
Kieran. Have you been perusing any World War II, Civil War, Revolutionary War books recently? Documentaries?
I personally have not been. No.
He hasn't hit it yet.
Should I be? Was it?
No.
Oh, is this like a dad thing?
You're not old
we were
enough.
just discussing that.
Yeah, still in the newborn stage. So I think
yeah. He's probably got a few years before he kind of gets into that history dad type phase of his life.
Yeah. I've been basically just deep diving 2000s baseball trades on YouTube.
I mean, that's
the worst fleeces in trade deadline history. That type of YouTube content.
Okay,
that's another dad
Make
avenue.
sure you have a towel over your shoulders so you don't get vomited on before you go to work.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yep.
Well, he also possibly gets vomited on while at work, but that's a different story.
This is also true. Yes, I have it coming at me from all angles.
All right. So to repeat the list, you've selected 2 so far. The other eligible revisits possibility, you can still pick 6. Groundhog Day, Good Will Hunting, Get Out, Dr. No, E.T., Reservoir Dogs, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, Superbad, The Bridge on the River Kwai, Unforgiven, The Dirty Dozen, Ocean's 13, Broadcast News, Slapshot, Full Metal Jacket, Sunrise, A Song of Two Humans, Cool Hand Luke, A Bridge Too Far, and The Greatest Show on Earth.
Slapshot.
Okay.
It's Paul Newman's favorite film, or was. He said he had more fun than any other film shooting that one.
Okay.
Unforgiven.
Still 5 to go.
He said Unforgiven.
Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting. All right, so we're up to 4.
Did you get Good Will Unforgiven?
I did not.
Yeah, he said that.
Yep.
All right, so that's 5. You got 3 more.
Now, can I ask a question? If you're revisiting Bridge, aren't you doing a tiebreaker episode this year?
Correct.
So it'll be a tiebreaker and a revisit. That doesn't matter.
Well, the tiebreaker, and then if we revisit it and we revise it anyway, then it will, of course, break the tie. But
right
before you came in, Kieran, we were talking about kind of how boring Bridge on the River or A Bridge Too Far is.
Oh, A Bridge Too Far. Right. I've never seen that one.
So you got 5.
That if you want to volunteer to be on the episode.
It's a 3.5-hour war film that drags on way too long and has a ridiculously all-star cast.
Oh, yeah. I mean, name anybody in Hollywood and they're in it.
Did Attenborough direct it?
He might have.
It might have been.
I know he's in it.
Yeah. I mean, Anthony Hopkins is in it.
All right, hold on.
Robert Redford is in it.
Yeah.
I'm pulling it. Ryan O'Neal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Attenborough
Michael
directed
Caine, Sean Connery, Robert Redford, Anthony Hopkins, James Caan, Gene Hackman, Laurence Olivier, Denholm Elliott, Ryan O'Neal, Elliot Gould.
Yep.
Maximilian Schell.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's got a fairly
For that matter, so is John Ratzenberger.
I don't see him listed here in the first several, but
no, because he's got a cameo. He's in one shot.
Okay.
Redford's picture on IMDb, like as you scroll through for this movie, he's looking like a stone cold fox. The guy is, I mean, look at that guy.
Yeah. Well,
he had it. He had the juice.
Yeah,
Edward
that's
Fox
not
is
a
in
controversial opinion there. Anyway, you still have 3 to pick.
You like comedy? Superbad's in there.
All right, I'll do Superbad.
We didn't do like a weird full episode on it, so it probably isn't the worst idea.
Yeah.
So what other 2? You still got 2 here, unless you want me to kick it to the boys and let them pick one.
What? Go ahead.
What are the criterion for a revisit? How long does it have to be since you did the episode?
1 year.
Oh, so you can hop in quickly. Gotcha.
So any of these that I read off were eligible.
What's left on the board?
All right. So just a reminder: Groundhog Day, Get Out, Dr. No, E.T., Reservoir Dogs, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, The Bridge on the River Kwai, The Dirty Dozen, Ocean's 13, Broadcast News, Full Metal Jacket, Sunrise: A Song of Two Humans, Cool Hand Luke, A Bridge Too Far, and The Greatest Show on Earth.
I think my vote would be for Reservoir Dogs.
Okay. Peterson?
It's tough to not say E.T.
So is that what you're going with?
I'm trying to think if it's it. It's E.T. It's Steve, John.
Okay, sure.
All
right. So the revisits that will be slotted into our holiday episodes: High Noon, Good Will Hunting, Singing in the Rain, E.T., Reservoir Dogs, Superbad, Unforgiven, and Slapshot. All right.
My life is better just watching Donald O'Connor do his dance number, climbing the walls, and everything else.
All right. So I will slot those out, and we'll have our upcoming 2027 schedule here in the near future, but that takes care of that portion. So the only thing remaining for us left in the show is to kind of talk about our own submissions for the CLP list. So, Dad, what was your 50th film, the one that just made the cut?
Well, just a second here. I gotta open up the right folder.
Click BPEG, drag the porn into the side folder here, and
please.
I suppose you're probably too old for that.
Tom, what size is that Pepsi?
1 liter.
Okay,
big boy.
Quick Trip had it like 2 for $5 or something. So.
But it's Pepsi though. So what are you doing drinking Pepsi?
Of course I did Pepsi. I prefer Pepsi.
No museum.
Pepsi is falling. I mean, it's third, and it's about to fall beyond third. They're just in free fall.
What's in 2?
Not if I have anything to say about
Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper
By far. It has jumped it just tremendously. All right, 50th. 50th because I wanted it to be the Maltese Falcon.
That is correct. So, do you remember what you cut just at the end?
I want to say it was Notorious.
So that would have been your 51st?
It's in there. The last 5 were up and down, and I just... it was like agony. 49 was Blazing Saddles, and I think I jumped up because I just wanted to be recognized because it is such a seminal film to me for comedy. Just taking something horrible and making it into humor. which is just absolute blatant racism.
Okay, so of the ones that just missed my cut, and my last film in was Good Will Hunting, I had 55 The Lost Weekend, 54 Sunset Boulevard, 53 Seven. So 2 out of these so far have made the actual CLP list. 52 The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, which actually also made the CLP. And 51, my last cut was Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf.
Yeah. I had that as 30. Even though it's
a film
hard...
I've really enjoyed, but it's really hard to slot everywhere because it's so abstract and the acting performances are profound. It's a film we haven't covered yet, but we're going to at some point. And
oh yeah,
wow! But it's a tough one to digest.
Is it 68?
I think it's 66.
Okay.
Because it's before The Graduate.
No, it was 68.
Because it's not.
Because Mike Nichols directed.
Yes, and Mike Nichols did it in 66. Because 67 was The Graduate. He did Virginia Woolf before he did The Graduate.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around. All right.
No. Virginia Woolf, he adapted off of Broadway.
66 sounds right, actually. Yeah.
Anyway, so that was my last cut. Now, I'm going to have us focus on ones that didn't actually make the CLP. So one of the films that I nominated here that didn't end up making the final cut, at 46, I had A Night at the Opera, the Marx Brothers film.
Movie.
If for no other reason than about the time where I was starting to put this together, I was going through contracts class, and just about every contracts class I thought about the scene. The party of the first part. No, I don't like that. All right, we'll take it out.
Yeah. I know. I had Night of the Opera as 39. It's my favorite Marx Brothers film.
And I think you said TCM is showing all the Marx Brothers films in order on New Year's Eve?
It's not in order, but they are showing most of them. I think there's a couple that are missing, and I have them, but most of them are starting at like 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. or something on New Year's Eve and running through till about 7 o'clock on New Year's Eve night.
Well, that's why you have a DVR. But any selections on your list that you'd like to highlight just to start here that didn't make the final CLP list? I see one at 47.
Apocalypse Now?
That is the highest ranking on basically all the other polls, so Sight and Sound and AFI and IMDb, that didn't make the CLP.
Well, that flat out didn't make it. Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it was very close. I want to say it was just outside, like within 10 spots.
Yeah.
I know. In retrospect, my number 45, I wish I would have like dropped it out and put Notorious in, because I really do not like Gone with the Wind.
So another one from mine that I've talked about on other programs, but not on this one, Your Name at number 40, which I think is still the highest rated until Inside Out, I think, finally surpassed it this year, but was our highest rated movie of the 2010s, which is the anime Japanese movie that I find to be extraordinary. Somebody introduced me to the movie, and I was blown away by it.
It's quite a good film.
Unusual for me because I'm not a big anime guy in any stretch, and for whatever reason, that one got me. So, any other ones you want to arrive at, Dad? Here?
No, not offhand.
Okay.
You guys had the two most to make the list, right? Most of your selections made it.
Yeah.
He had 46 out of his 50, I think, made the final CLP, and 45 of mine.
Wow, only 4. You only had 4 movies miss, and you only had 5. That is crazy.
Yeah, Once Upon a Time in the West missed for me. A Place in the Sun was my number 32, which is a movie you're going to be on to discuss with us next year.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
I'm trying to look at some of the other ones. I thought I'd be weird having Die Hard that high, and yet it was pretty close to where it actually finished on the CLP list at 38, I think. Your Name missed for me. and A Night at the Opera missed, Once Upon a Time in the West. Those, I think, are my 5, other than the one inside my top 10 that missed as well.
Night at the Opera, Blazing Saddles. I'm trying to remember whether the other 2 are.
Well, let me take a
Maltese.
Look. Blazing Saddles, Maltese Falcon didn't make it, so your last 2 films didn't end up making it. Apocalypse Now, so 3 out of your last 4 didn't make it.
And Night of the Opera.
So that must be your 4. All right, so let's start with your number 15, Dad.
12 Angry Men.
Now, this was my number 1.
I know. In retrospect, again, it's one of these situations where so much between, 5 and 12 just kind of depends on where you are in that moment in time. I'm on vacation. So at that point in time, thinking of a legal thriller probably was not a high point of my life at that moment in time. In retrospect, it probably would have been higher now, but I love the film, and I think it is one of the better films of all time.
I had that at 5.
I had it somewhere, I think 22, 23.
Okay. My number 15 was Taxi Driver. I think this is Scorsese's best film. I think this is more relevant today than it was at the time that it was made.
Had that slotted at 40.
13 for me. Not my highest Scorsese, though.
Then 14, I have The Matrix.
I have Grapes of Wrath. The summer...
That one didn't make the CLP list, so...
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, The Matrix shouldn't have either.
Yes, it should
Matrix
have.
was
What are you
way
talking
up there.
about?
Oh, I know. It's one of the movies I've never quite connected with or gelled with.
Summer between my sophomore and senior year of college, I painted for the college. And so I would, it was hot and whatever. I would sit under a shade tree and I would read books. And I read Grapes of Wrath that summer. And then in between my freshman or first year of law school and my second, there's a film that I keep wanting to recommend to people if they have not seen it. It is Raintree County with Elizabeth Taylor and Montgomery Clift. I read the book and was just blown away. And the movie only reinforced my thought of that. But anyway. So
I should also mention, I found another one. So it must have been that I only had 44 and you had 45. And I might have misremembered that. But my 6th one that didn't make the final list was The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance,
which I just watched for the first time recently.
Ooh.
That's what I've got to watch it.
Well, I have that. It's 31. So I think you've got the numbers wrong.
I was going off of Andrew's numbers. If he did his math wrong, that's not my fault.
Okay. Shift.
You're damn straight, Skippy. All right. What was your 13?
The Godfather.
Which I find fascinating that you put it as high as you did, given that you've been a noted critic of the movie.
I'm a noted critic of the movie because it's just not something that really speaks to me. But I can appreciate the art of something without necessarily saying that the art necessarily rings true with me.
And that's fair. That's fair. Number 13 is a film that I think most people are going to be questioning my cinephile card, but I can make an argument that every one of the films higher than it is either more relevant or a favorite of mine. I have Jaws at 13.
It's your list.
Okay.
I know most people probably put it higher, but
I had it
Number
at
one.
17.
That's number 1.
I had it at 22, so you're not gonna. You're in good company here. You're the second highest.
Okay.
Real piece of shit. 22, 13.
One
17.
behind Cuckoo's Nest there, Peterson, to call back to our 1975 episode.
12, I had The Empire Strikes Back. So between those two, the top 2 films on the Gmote list at the current moment, Jaws number 1, Empire number 2. I have those back to back on the list, but with Empire just slightly higher.
12, I have Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
Yep.
And that
was my
did
13.
make the final or the top. My Wizard of Oz was 24.
My number 7.
Okay. And then your number 11, Dad?
Lawrence of Arabia.
It's my numero uno.
Which isn't a surprise for you, given your public comments on it, but it was my number 25.
What was a surprise was just how low on the list it ended up.
It
Yeah,
ended
the
up
30s
very
was surprising.
I had it at 14. And
I think it doesn't speak. I mean, there's not that many people. Sarah's father is older than me, but otherwise, I think I'm the oldest person on the list who contributed, right?
Yeah.
Dad, you can't say that
Okay. Why?
because I'm not editing this and he was anonymous.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, how did I know? I didn't know that.
I don't
Yes,
think
you
there's anything
did. I've
too,
told you that multiple times.
I don't think there's anything
Okay.
too offensive in there.
Okay,
All
so
right.
I'm the second
Moving
oldest
on, my
person
number
the
11
list.
was the best years of our lives. And
47
frankly,
for me.
it being outside my top 10 is excruciating, but it's
Where'd you have it, Tom? 11?
11.
I had it at 14. Very, very close.
I had a 47. So
I'm surprised. I didn't think this would make a ton of people's list, and it somehow did. And so I'm a little bit surprised that it was as high as it ended up being on the CLP.
It was 9 for me.
Well, that's what's cool is you get like we're talking about movies that missed like Grapes of Wrath and Maltese Falcon, and then you can see Lawrence of Arabia is so low. It's like, wow, some of these older films are just, I guess they're getting put in the bygone cubby. But then something like Best Years of Our Lives, where did that end up on the overall?
Oh, I suppose I can pull up the overall list. And a reminder that we haven't officially to the public released our last 2 films. So just in case that's a point or a topic
It's
of
not Best
conversation.
Years of Our Lives. But.
That is correct. 41.
41.
But for a film that, again,
Pretty
it
good.
has a somewhat generic name that I don't think enough people have seen, that's pretty good.
Really good.
It's long. It's one of those 3-hour movies that probably when you look at it seems a little bit like homework. And you watch it and you're like, it's much
When you-
breezier, more engaging.
Yeah, when you put it on, it feels like a 2-hour movie that's like 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my number 10 is the obvious slot for Casablanca here. Only because as good of a movie
I had
as it
Ordinary
is,
People.
all the ones that are just
That was
higher
one of
on
my
it,
last cuts.
yeah. Well, and I know you would have had your self-imposed embargo on movies you hadn't covered on your show, and I know that
Right. Yeah. Casablanca, Apartment, and Schindler's List all got. And that was just a technicality to help me manage my math a little better. But Ordinary People did qualify because we have covered it. And it was like the last one. I think it was like 51.
and Ordinary People was my 22nd. So, and it also made the list. So I can't argue with that.
Yeah. And, by saying it's 51 it's really not 51. Had it made the list, it probably, just because that's how like my 50 was locked in. So like had it made the list, it probably would have been in the low 40s or something like that. I didn't do a straight ranking to 100. I found my 50 and then I ordered them from there.
One of my last cuts was The Godfather Part 2. And the reason I cut it was because I was like, everyone's going to vote for this. Let me throw my money somewhere else. And I probably had Godfather 2 at like 12 or something.
Right.
And then I'm
Yeah,
like,
I
let
mean-
me just pull it off. It's going to get votes. And I give it something, more personal.
That was Star Wars for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. Dad, what was your 10?
I had Ordinary People. I already gave it. The Best Years of Our Lives.
Which you just said. So my number 9 was Psycho, a movie we recently revisited. It's inside the top 10 for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
If
I
it's
have it.
not Jaws, it's possibly the single greatest or most influential horror film ever made.
See,
I had it as 2.
I had it at 11.
I had it at 29, and I'm like, how's that possible? How is that possible?
Well, you'll get a redo in it at minimum 5 years. So we'll see how your attentions have graduated from that point. But
My 29 did not make the list, Peterson. It was How Green Was My Valley.
kudos to you. That is a ballsy
Hey.
choice, but I love it.
It's my Ford, man.
Psycho is, I think, the only movie I've seen on like a screen on the green, like an outdoor movie festival. I've seen it more than once. I've seen it twice in that setting. And both times it is the most locked in audience.
Yeah.
I mean, it is people just absolutely glued.
Oh, I sobbed at the first time I watched Valley. I sobbed at the end.
I was talking about Psycho.
Oh,
It would be amazing if you saw how green was my valley to drive through and the audience was locked in. I'm like, where is this place? I got
all right, that's fair.
Place.
Or
I knew I loved Atlanta.
Sobbing at Psycho.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that would be an awkward one.
Arbogast, no!
I can't believe she's dead.
No, the money's sinking into the ground. No.
All right, my number 8 was It's a Wonderful Life, a film that I've come kind of around on in the last few years, where I was really annoyed on it for like 2 decades. But we recovered it for the show probably about 3 years ago, 4 years ago, somewhere in that range. And I don't know, I came back around on it. I appreciate it. I think this is a good spot for it.
I had it yet at number 9. It's my wife said last night is her number 1 favorite movie.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, we watch it every year. She loves sentimental stuff, and part of what makes It's Wonderful Life so good is that it has the sentimental ending, but it's a tough movie. It's not as easygoing as people think it is.
No, for Capra movies that are so idealistic, this is the one that I think takes you through more trauma than any other of his movies.
Yeah.
Like, It Happened One Night, it's kind of breezy and light and fluffy. It's a basic rom-com type of film. You Can't Take It With You is kind of in the same order. It doesn't really deal with anything really heavy or subject material-wise. Mr. Smith is probably the closest he came before It's a Wonderful Life to something where it's dealing with like the dirtiness of politics and some of that
It's got some
stuff.
cynicism to it, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not dealing with my life is a failure. I'm going to potentially commit suicide. You know, those are some heavy things that are still obviously very relevant. So,
I mean, I explained the plot of It's a Wonderful Life to my son like 2 weeks ago, and I could like barely keep back tears just thinking about like, you know, because George Bailey just means you say his life's a failure. That's what he thinks, but it's not. I mean, his life means everything. He's changed so many lives. He didn't live the life he wanted, but he's certainly not the failure.
and it's why I've advocated that I think this is a film that you can't truly appreciate until you've lived a bit of life and maybe not had it go the way that you wanted to, where you can look back on it fondly and say, maybe it isn't so bad that I haven't ended up in the place that I thought I would.
Yeah.
Yeah. 16.
I mean, it's a movie about all the small decisions you make in your life that lead to where you are. And if you think about those decisions too hard, you're going to get depressed and sad and think, oh, what's that sliding door going to give me? What's this sliding door going to give me?
I know. I have been wrestling in my mind. It's one of these exercises while I'm driving and I'm bored. I've been working on this screenplay, which is the opposite of It's a Wonderful Life. It's a guy who's on his deathbed, and all of a sudden, you know, the concept of as you die, you get complete awareness, and it's
Thank
him
you, Bill.
being able to see what things, little decisions he's made in his life that have ultimately impacted him, the world, and other people. So it's like he's dying, his family's all around. It's almost you divide or you violate the third wall or the fourth wall, excuse me, and you do flashbacks, and all of a sudden something he did impacts somebody, and the whole concept is being able to die with satisfaction that you've lived a good life.
Yeah.
What was your number 8, Dad?
Shawshank.
Not Kieran's number 1, though.
No, not my number 1. I kept it objective. I think it was my number 3 or more 4. It was my number 4.
4.
Wow, I'm surprised
Yeah.
it made it that far down.
Yeah, I had the
I
two
had it
Godfathers and Lawrence of Arabia ahead of it.
Yeah. Okay. My number 7 is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. The movie just fucking slaps.
Yeah.
It's slow in some spots. I'll give it that. But if you just sit down and watch it between Morricone and him dragging out certain shots, not to mention one of the great climactic scenes in all of cinema, bar none.
Yeah, it's my 6.
It didn't make my list, but it's been 10 years, if not 15, since I've seen it, and that might be why. And that's just the nature of doing this kind of list. It's like you can't get back to everything, and you can't see everything you wanted to. And
yeah, certainly.
Good, the Bad was 20th to me. And if you want to see Eli Wallach, not only in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and see a great performance, The Holiday. We just watched that again recently for Christmas.
I watched it last night with my wife, and we watch it every year. And every year she's like, Did he do anything else? I'm like, Eli Wallach's like one of the great character actors. That's The Ugly. Come on.
Yeah.
He's and I tell her, hey, movies you've seen him in, Mystic River, The Ghost Rider. He's got a small little part in that movie. The very fun Roman Polanski thriller, Magnificent Seven. My wife has not seen the Magnificent Seven.
So yes, and Actors Studio studied with Brando, studied with all the others.
I was going to say Liberty Valance, but that's Van Cleef, isn't that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So, Dad, you're number 7?
Saving Private Ryan. I think it's probably Spielberg's second best film.
Is that a war film?
Yeah.
It's my number 19.
I think it probably is the best war film ever made.
It's the best combination of two eras of cinema. The celebratory World War II films with a certain solemnity to them, and the Vietnam era, which is trying to say that war is dangerous and shouldn't be celebrated. And it takes these two angles between two generations conflicted about how they feel about war and somehow combines them into this thing that says it's both.
Yeah, I think it walks a very fine line, which didn't make my 50, wasn't eligible because I had 2 Spielbergs already. That's just my personal rubric for myself, or rules. And it's one of those movies that if you watch it, it's kind of undeniable, just the craft and skill on hand. And I think has a lot more to say about really why it's important to think about the people who fight in wars as opposed to the reasons behind war. When you think about the actually sending people to war, and Hanks is so good in it. It's just one of those movies I watched, and I saw it in theaters when I was 11 years old or almost 12, and I didn't have anywhere near the grasp of how kind of magnificent the scope of that film is. And my grandfather was on D-Day. He was just about a mile down from Omaha Beach, so not the brunt of it, but it makes you think about just the sacrifice these people made to combat the worst evil imaginable, but no politics are ever mentioned, which I love.
Utah Beach?
That might have been where he landed. I'm not positive, but his battalion was just.
We need to talk at some point off air.
Yeah,
because I need to pick up some information about anything you know about your grandfather. Because my wife's uncle died in the hedgerows after landing at Utah, and I've been trying to trace everything that was going on with him. So any information you might have as to the landing and when and all of that would be important.
Yeah, I know my dad, I think, has some of that information, and if not, my grandfather's a career in the military, ended up working in the Pentagon, and lived in Germany during peace negotiations, and so
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
My grandfather was over in the Pacific. So he was stationed in Japan. Yeah.
Yeah, my wife's other 2 uncles were conscientious objectors because they were Mennonites, They worked on the hospital ships, and they dealt with the burn victims from the kamikaze attacks. Yeah.
And then, Dad, what was your number 6?
Singing in the Rain. For a film that was supposed to be a hodgepodge of leftover script songs and ideas, how they made such a iconic film, I have no idea.
It is a film by, if you dissect it into its parts, should not work, and yet it does every time.
Yep.
It's my number 2.
My number 18.
Basically a perfect film.
Yeah.
2, Peterson?
Yeah, at number 2.
Yeah, nice.
Okay.
23, so I guess I'm the low man. I mean, what wonderful film. Wonderful film.
And speaking of just movies, speaking to younger generations, I showed this to my kids, I don't know, 4 years ago when we did it in the backyard, and both of them were dancing at musical numbers. They were running around. They thought it was just a blast. And it just shows you the right thing can speak to any generation.
I did some research about Donald O'Connor because I love the scene with him, make them laugh and all that. Okay, he ended up spending so much energy, so much of himself in that he ended up spending 3 days in a hospital to recover physically from what he expended in that scene.
It's also because he smoked like 17 packs a day.
Yeah. So I was going to say it feels a little apocryphal.
He didn't have the lung capacity, I don't think, to really do it. But if you've never seen, Joseph Gordon-Levitt basically reprises that entire sequence for SNL 10, 15 years ago. You watch it on YouTube, and he's quite.
I don't think it's allowed on YouTube. I think you got to like really search it out because SNL pulled it because there was a copyright issue with it.
Yeah.
So, but I think you can find it. You just have to like really search for it. But yeah, he did a pretty good rendition of it. It's not exactly pristine, but still.
Yeah, he's not the singer that O'Connor was.
That's true.
Yeah.
6 for me was The Godfather. Not much else to say. The only reason it pushes it slightly down on the list is I think there are slightly more important films that speak to where we're at today. And also, I still, unfortunately, have to give it points down for the inclusion of a minor with a nude scene in the film for no good reason. So then my number 5 here is Harakiri, a film that I really, really wish more people would see because it seemed like I was one of the few people that vote for it for this entire project.
Yeah, and I just missed my list because I watched it in college and haven't seen it since, and it's tough.
I watched it for a group discussion about a year and a half ago, I want to say. And I just remember sitting back and watching it, and it's just, I'm not usually bowled over by international films, but that one was a great exception.
Wait, first time then?
Yep. I've only seen it the one time. But it is definitely worthy of being up there. It's worthy of being the number 1 rated film on Letterboxd.
Gotta check it out.
Your number 5.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Okay.
There's a reason why I can quote every line as they're being said.
Do you think that when we do this in a couple more years, Jimmy is going to be over It's a Wonderful Life? The Jimmy Stewart biopic coming out next year. With KJ Apa.
I have heard that thing absolutely trashed.
It looks like a 30 Rock skit.
I know. I know. And I'm trying to remember the name of the guy who does YouTube on movies. And he said, if you're going to do a Jimmy Stewart impression, at least have Dana Carvey do it. So
okay. And then your number 4.
Casablanca.
We've had 3 different episodes. Is there anything more you want to say?
No.
As I mentioned, it was my number 10, so not much to add there. 4, I think we're going to talk about later on, so I'm not going to cover much of it here, but this was my Schindler's List spot. I think it is the best picture winner of all time. I've had it on top of my list the last 2 years in our best picture rankings. Well, my best picture rankings. And I think I don't know if it's more relevant, but it certainly has a rooted relevance in a lot of the geopolitics of right now. And it's hard to deny the emotionality and the devastation that you feel in watching the film.
Do you remember the last time I watched Schindler's List?
The first time you watched it?
No, it was election night of 2020 because it was like, let's watch something about some good in the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
And part of what makes it so good, I think, is just how fun it is for the first hour. Like it's him just like wheeling and dealing, and it's just Spielberg operating like no one else can. And he makes that first hour so fun, and then the last two. I mean, it's tough. I mean,
yeah. What was your number 4, Dad?
I had Casablanca.
Okay, so you did already give you. So my number 3 then is Network, a movie that is seemingly a comedy, but really does not play out that way anymore, and it feels again more relevant than ever in the current environment. Sensationalism, people doing stuff for clickbait or rage bait, anything to get attention these days, and Chayefsky was way ahead of the curve on this one.
Yeah, just missed my list. Another one of those. It was in that last little cut. Yeah. Partially because I've only seen it once and recently, so I just don't have a long history with it. But it's an awesome movie.
Is anybody else bothered by the common theme of the following statement? Social media influencer falls to death.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like that's every other week.
Yeah.
And that's the whole idea of clickbait. Yeah. Unfortunately.
You mean like somebody going live on air and saying that they're going to commit suicide live on the air?
No, it just
yeah.
There's a lot of suicide within the social media community, and I think part of it is you live your life fully online, and then if one thing goes wrong, it feels like it's the end of the world, and it's
It's tapping into a new level of mental health that we're not prepared for yet as a society. It's crazy stuff.
In part, I shouldn't say this like this. I don't mean it to be exactly like this, but one of the best things that ever happened to me is when my father and I'd have a really bad day and I'd be, oh my God, life is over. My dad would go, oh, quit whining. just toughen up, because I think there's, in part, we have a whole generation that parents have tried to protect and, nurture their children, and they've never let them had an opportunity to fail and feel like, I failed, but tomorrow's another day and something good can potentially happen tomorrow. And so I think that's part of the whole problem that we're experiencing right now is we have people who don't understand that life can be great even if you fail on a given day.
Yeah. And as a parent, I would say, keep your kids off social media as long as humanly possible. My kids have tablets, but nowhere close to social media.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to adopt the Australian law that just went into effect to ban social media for anyone under 18.
Yeah.
They're working on 16. I know.
All for it. And similar stuff for AI if they'll allow it.
Yeah.
Because I can just see how destructive that's going to be with now I'm only in a relationship with an AI, kind of stuff.
Well, hold on. Can I ask just a question? Because I know that OnlyFans has AI models.
God.
So somebody, you're paying a model.
Just remember, he's not editing this. Just reminder.
I can't wrap my head around. You're paying for a model that does not exist to give you pictures and videos.
Okay.
Like
Peterson, as much as your query is fascinating, my follow-up question to that is I did not know this was a thing. How do you know what is or is not on OnlyFans?
There's articles about it, just like the rise of AI.
Ah, you read it for the articles. I see.
Well, look, I believe it was an Atlantic article. So
Okay.
He subscribes to the OnlyFans highlight magazine online.
look, just imagine you're Henry David Thoreau and you're like, from the grave, let me check in on the Atlantic. Let me go back and see what they're up to these days. And it's like AI model, on the rise in OnlyFans. And you're like, first of all, what's AI? What's OnlyFans?
Okay. Bringing it back into a semblance of normalcy here. Dad, you're number 3.
Citizen Kane.
Did it not make your list at all, Tom?
That is correct. I kept it off intentionally.
If you were doing this objectively, it has to make the list.
No.
I had it at 49, not a protest. It made it, but it's not getting one behind the Blair Witch Project. Oh, sorry, one ahead of the Blair Witch Project.
I got it at 3.
Yeah.
Okay. I respect it for its place in history and its significance. I don't think it's nearly as good as people claim it is. And then again, as far as the Gmote rubric scale, and that episode says, I was higher on it than the person who had it as their number 3 film.
I don't know.
So you're number 2?
Psycho.
Okay. Which
actually, I would probably not say it's the best Hitchcock film, but it's the best film Hitchcock did.
I don't see what the difference is in those two statements.
Well, it's ultimately what other people and what society ultimately determines is better. It's not necessarily my favorite Hitchcock film.
Well, my favorite anything in a franchise isn't necessarily the best.
I mean, my favorite Hitchcock film is North by Northwest.
As is mine.
Same.
See, that is perhaps one of the only Hitchcocks that I like it, and I really think it's quite a good film, but I do not jive with it like Psycho, Vertigo, Notorious, Strange Zones, any of these, Rope. Like, I like all of those movies more. Rebecca, I mean, the name of Hitchcock, not everyone, but name a lot of them, and I'm higher on it probably.
Yeah.
North by Northwest, probably Rear Window, then Dial M for Murder, then Notorious. When we do Notorious, the best performance, I love.
You're
Cary
like
Grant
8 months in advance here.
But Claude Rains' performance. Claude Rains was a very, very underrated actor.
That's fair. And I think that would be his 3rd, maybe 4th film of his that we've covered. So might be sneaking up on a Gmote Hall of Famer nomination here in the near future.
And you have to wait till 27 to cover Lawrence of Arabia?
Yes.
And that's automatically gets in because it made the list, right?
Yes, you weren't here for that section, but I think it's in December of 2027. I don't have the exact date in front of me, but
a solid 2 years away.
Yep.
Cool.
Some fruit to hang out there at the end of the road. But all right,
that's one I'd like to just be a listener on, I think.
That's
to
fair.
hear what the others say.
I asked my wife maybe 2-3 weeks ago about, I was like, hey, it's got to ask a revisionist almanac for 2028 or whatever. I asked my wife, I was like, hey, Andrew wants me to come on this episode, and she's like, when is it? I'm like July of 2027. She's like, I don't know. she's like,
our furthest in the future scheduled episode on the list at the moment. We don't have anything scheduled in 2028, but we have an episode of Revenge of the Nerds scheduled for July of 2029.
Sure.
For like the 45th anniversary.
Oh.
Talk about classicness being in the can there. That's a.
Oh yes, I know.
There might
be AI podcast hosts at that time. You know?
Well, yeah.
Just have
I think
AI
there already
clone
are AI
something.
podcast hosts.
Yeah, that's actually true. All right, my number
Oh,
2 was Shawshank Redemption. One of the great male bonding movies, probably the preeminent male bonding movie. Prisoner struggles. I think of this much in the same way that I think about Singing in the Rain. A vignettes film that is made out of a book that seemingly was unadaptable, that somehow works on every level and is one of, if not the most rewatchable film of all time.
Yeah.
Tom, you said something really nice in your CLP like blurb about it being a movie about essentially overcoming adversity or trauma, and I can't remember exactly what you said, but it's a really nice way to think about it as well. If for a movie that is as dark as it is so rewatchable. It's so breezy and easy to watch. It's a movie that I saw the first time, like, I don't know, 9-10 years old, probably on TBS or TNT, and then we had the VHS. And then I didn't watch it for like 20 years because I was like, oh, I know Shawshank. And then I watched it again for this, and I was like, well, there's a reason it's so beloved. Like, it did have some mystery to me, even though I knew basically every line, every word, every shot.
It has so many Christ figures within it. I mean, ultimately, Dufresne goes through all of the, the piles of shit, and he comes out and he's washed by the water clean, and he leans back like this.
Everybody knows, Dad, and that's the only Christ-like figure in it. That there's one.
I don't know. There's multiples. You have to look.
Okay, so it was, and here was my quote. So since you mentioned it, a mastery of vignette storytelling that captivates as a whole or in its various parts. Shawshank redeems us all every time we see it to find our own humanity amidst our suffering.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of reading a book called Separation of Church and Hate. And it's requiring me to actually go back through and do some more. There's a lot more references to scenes and parts of Shawshank that are biblical that you don't think about.
Are you saying that you're doing some soul searching?
Don't
answer that question. Anyway,
yeah.
I read that quote for myself and I wonder who the fuck wrote that? Because that's too good to be something I wrote.
You're in the zone.
I guess
Did you put it in Chat GPT?
No. I know I wrote all of my own.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I must have been on a heater that day. And my number 1 was 12 Angry Men. Endlessly rewatchable. I think it is, outside of my common refrain that my 3 favorite films of all time, because they all have very specific meanings to me and my education and my own cinephile journey, 12 Angry Men is probably the film out of all of these that I've seen the most, been encountered with the most, been so genuinely inspired to do things.
We lost the host.
And so...
Who knew?
Tom, we lost you.
You froze.
Yeah, I know. The internet is unstable back here. Anyway.
Made it all the way to number 1, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I could wax poetic on it for quite a while without losing any steam. It is a fantastic film. If anybody needs to watch a black and white, this is the one I point you to immediately. And no, I can convince you to start watching others.
There are 13 primary actors in this film, the 12 jurors and the bailiff. And there are so many iconic performances of so many character actors. Just take out Henry Fonda and just put the other 12 actors into this. You could make a case that this would be an iconic, great film just from their performances.
So, and I'll say it's a movie I had at number 35. And just the mental math I had to do, just because I think it's, I mean, you said it, it's a wonderful film, is the filmmaking is so confined to that one space, whereas something like Jaws, Wizard of Oz, brings you into these worlds, and lets you see more of these places. And that's just, you got to do mental math sometimes on these things and figure out, how do you really go from 1 to 3? The line's so close.
Number 5 for me. 1 behind Shawshank. So your 1 and 2 was my 5 and 4 right there.
I mean, there's a reason they're contained inside the top 10, I think both of them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, Dad, what is your number 1? I think you've already mentioned it before, but Schindler's.
Yep. It is by far the best film ever made about what could be is the most likely horrific experience ever. It does more within a span of a couple of hours to show the sheer stupidity and waste of hatred towards people based upon race, religion, or nothing of substance. I mean,
the single greatest case of mass inhumanity ever perpetrated on Earth.
And it brings it home so that you feel every ounce of the weight of what took place. It would have been real easy for me to have picked a film that made me feel good as my number 1 film. But, in studying my family history, it came to fruition that my great-great-grandfather was Jewish, coming from Germany into Wisconsin, and he was Jewish. The 1850 census says he was an Episcopalian, after the registry in New York said he was Jewish. Just says everything you need to know about what it was like to be Jewish in the world in the 19th and 20th centuries. And I know for a fact, in talking to my grandfather, who kept in touch into the 1930s with cousins that he had in Berlin. And I'm sure they were all killed in the Holocaust, or a large portion of it. Mm. So, I just had to put it as number 1 for me.
Well, we don't want to end on such a tragic and dour note. So, as our 2 most frequent guests this season, what are your favorite highlights from this season of Gmote?
Ooh, go ahead, Kieran.
Wow. It was a weird season for me since my start, just because I was in the very beginning and then not until the very end. So I had my longest gap between appearances. So I guess I'll just talk about my most recent one. We had just an incredible conversation on The Lost Weekend. Might ended up being my favorite of the 15 or so movies we've discussed together here on this platform. Really rewarding stuff and a fun convo. So Lost Weekend was just a couple weeks ago, and we were in the CLP at a fun part of the list too. I think it was like 15 to 20 or 10 to 15, something like that. So I was lucky enough to have a good chunk of the list to talk about. So that was fun stuff.
Peterson?
Yeah, because I just scrolled through the year, just looking quickly at the. I'm just outside of the episodes I did.
You have really to scroll through the few that aren't with you in it.
If you did not catch, I said that before you came on that I spent more time with you this year than my 2 daughters.
Look, you're lucky. That's all I gotta say.
Yes,
you get the fleece and everything.
That's how the whole sweater under the sweater thing came up, and because he essentially wanted to adopt you, but said you wouldn't want to come up here in January. I thought you might still be warm anyway.
No. I hate the cold. I can't do it. It's miserable. No, but
It's
some
40
of my
degrees and I'm running around without a jacket on. So
Oh yeah, it's
that's
short
okay.
weather.
some of my favorite episodes from the season. I loved y'all's you three, and I can't remember who the guest was, but Gladiator. I thought was quite
Okay,
fun.
That was
Rob
me.
Conlon, yeah.
Yeah. Rob
Yep.
Conlon, yeah.
Yep.
Loved y'all's talk on Inside Out. I thought that was one of your best episodes of the season. Really personal episode.
Yep.
In a lot of ways for you guys, I think. I thought it was really fun when Clarissa and Ralph were on for Jaws. And then, so my favorite, I thought I loved our discussion of Pather Panchali.
Yep. I was wondering if you'd get to that one because that was another one that I haven't really mentioned of films that we covered that really surprised me. But now thinking on episodes we covered with you this year, I would say that's the number one where it was like, I wasn't expecting anything going in. I thought for sure I'd be kind of bored with it. And I was for probably a good quarter of the movie. But once it got into that scene, and if you go back to the episode, you can find which scene I specifically am referring to. But it just flips on a dime. And I thought we had a really great conversation for that one.
And speaking of just film speaking to you differently, that's a movie that if you watch that movie and you're not doing a podcast, you might just say, oh, I don't know, I'm 20 minutes in, let me turn it off. But sticking with it and I think is so incredibly rewarding. It's partly why doing this is important. And kind of keeping these films alive in some way. Really also loved, I do think the Men of Honor episode was very fun.
Yes. I had that on my list, so I was going to bring that up too. It's just great.
I did love the next week when Adam Freed was on for the American President. I thought was a very fun, very good episode.
I love that movie.
And, and obviously the sadly departed Rob Reiner.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll give
Hall
quite
of
enough
Famer.
credit.
Yep.
I don't think you gave quite enough credit to how good that movie is. I think it's a fantastic film. And then, I thought our 7 episode was very fun.
Yeah, great episode.
Yeah.
Oh, and shout out another episode. This goes way, 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 way back in 2025. But I think probably one of your first episodes of the year, Barry Lyndon.
Yep, it was the first episode.
Yes,
And
so
then we did
had a
Bad
nice
Day at Black Rock with you the following week. That was our first two.
I had never seen and thought was a wonderful film.
Bad Day or Barry Lyndon?
Bad Day.
Yeah, Bad Day's great.
Yeah.
But Barry Lyndon had a good wide perspective. Like it wasn't like a love fest. Like there were ups and downs and all around.
Yeah.
No, but I don't think any of us really hated on it either.
No.
And it was my first time with it, so it was one I think I'd have to rewatch and let it kind of grow on me.
Yeah, it's
more
way
than
better the
anything,
second time.
Yeah. It's a fungus film.
Yes.
And you did the Star Wars Wars trilogy.
Yeah.
I'm leaving that world now. I just watched all 9 of them. I'm like Star Wars brained out right now.
Why'd you watch all 9?
I had never seen Last Jedi or Rise of Skywalker, and I hadn't seen the episode 1 through 3 since theaters, so it was like I wanted to do the whole journey. So I started with 1, then 2, 3, 4. I went in storytelling order. And it's gonna be a while before I watch a Star Wars movie again.
I'll say, I'm in the minority certainly in thinking The Last Jedi is an incredible film. Like I
enjoyed it.
I really like it. I don't know if I would go incredible, but of the late stage trilogy, it's between 7 and 8, but 9 is such a drop off for me that I don't want to even acknowledge it.
I honestly, and I don't just say this to like get into Corns' craw, but
Voldemort.
You catch me on the right day. It's my favorite of the films.
Yeah,
Last Jedi.
Well,
I just think it's
I love the Luke stuff. The Luke stuff was great.
It's so good. I just love the expansion of the world of 7. Sorry, 8. I apologize. Of Last Jedi. I just love how it expands the world. It brings parts of the galaxy you've never seen. It has people that are morally gray, which is not really a Star Wars thing until recently. It's so rich. I love it.
Yeah,
Ryan Johnson's the man.
So, just one quick recap to end off our final few minutes here. But we did have quite a bit of movement this season in the top 10. And just to kind of take you down a little bit of memory lane here, 10 currently is Psycho with 54.67 points. 9 is Pulp Fiction with 54.73. We have a tie that will be broken eventually this year between Rear Window and Casablanca at 54.75. Number 6 is 12 Angry Men at 55, even. 5 is North by Northwest at 55.08. 4, The Shawshank Redemption at 55.81. The Dark Knight is at 56.48 at number 3. 2, The Empire Strikes Back at 57.43, which I thought for sure, how is anything going to top it? But in our revisit of Jaws, it is currently at 57.9. So it's only missing 2.1 points overall. I don't know how anything's topping that.
Near perfect score.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the Lou Gehrig until Cal Ripken comes along.
Boy, I don't know. I mean, Jaws has been up there so long that, good luck with anything else. But, all right. Any final thoughts for the season, Dad?
To be honest, part of me's never thought we'd get this far. And part of me is now going, I can't ever remember not doing this.
Yeah. So
it's become so baked into my life and where I am.
You can't even go to the doctor without talking about the podcast, right?
Oh yeah, my pulmonologist just goes on. My GP and I will talk of films.
Yep.
He grew up in Southern California, and the guy who was the artistic director for Dukes of Hazzard was his next door neighbor. So he'll tell me stories about the Dukes of Hazzard and how they, came up with how they did stuff. Okay.
Yeah, it is roughly 8% of your life has been spent during the course of this show. And the last 6 years, it will have been almost a sixth of my life spent doing the show.
Yeah.
And it's weird to think back on some of the early stuff and when we were using Skype for however long and, all the
mics.
Yep. Well, that was the very early stuff. And then we were just going to basically off of our laptop for a while. And some of the quality and the technical aspects of those first episodes are really, really raw. But if you go back to the early part of season 2, I thought that was maybe when we were our most coherent.
Yeah.
Which seems weird to think. So, yeah. But I'll just repeat many of the same thank yous that are going to be coming out that we've said on the Raging Bull episode, and then now our episode on Promising Young Woman coming on Wednesday. Anybody who had any part, big or small, for the CLP list, this was something just completely spur of the moment that we thought about very briefly. And then it came to fruition, and it just kept snowballing. And all the people that have been involved in the social media community or in submissions for the list or any contribution, this was always supposed to be a community project to give back to everybody else, because while the Cine podcasting community is growing and it is certainly robust and it is strong, I don't think we're treated in the same realm as the critics or some other outlets. And I think we at times are the new version of the critical community that hasn't gotten its due yet. So part of putting this list together is there's a love and a fascination by film, but we're all amateurs and we're all figuring it out together. And so to be able to put something together that isn't curated by the people who have all attended film school and do this purely out of love, we give this back to you. It will not be the only version. We don't know what's next. We're going to vote on that here in the next couple of weeks. We're going to start taking suggestions or ideas from our submitters or our participants, I guess is the better word for it, on whatever the next version is going to be. And we'll be back with this towards the end of next year, I would guess again. Probably not with as long as or drawn out of a list, but we plan on continuing this. And we would love to have more contributors and people and whatever else the next iteration is. But I will also say thank you to anybody who has listened or given us feedback, written us, made suggestions, provided comments, even the bad ones, because it does help with engagement and whatever else. So anybody who was at any point a part of the show this year, thank you. And of course, to our many wonderful guests who obviously have contributed a great deal to the breadth and depth of the show and challenged us in new ways and provided perspective beyond ourselves, because oftentimes, and this is what I sometimes fear, is that we are too similar, being father and son, and our tastes are too similar sometimes that we aren't balanced out enough to properly evaluate everything. And sometimes we need somebody to come in and put a sledgehammer between the two of us and break us up. But thank you to both of you for being a part of everything you were this year. And thank you to everybody else who was a part of it. Just again, for upcoming situations here, we're going to be live again next week with our James Bond ranking series. And then we'll be live the following week. If you were following today on social media, you saw all of our Dunkin' holiday menus for at least the first week of Christmas that are going to be paired with cocktails and a specific movie of choice. And so you can follow along with that. My mother will be on to help us review all of the movie selections that we did, as well as the cocktail and meal pairings that we made. But that will be on the 5th of January. And then our new season starts rolling out here very, very shortly. I think the 14th is when the first new episode drops. It's either the 7th or the 14th. I can't remember specifically, but either way, we'll be back and better than ever. And you're definitely not rid of us, but
Yep. And quite frankly, the thoughts cross my mind that if people have some interest in our movie dinner cocktail pairing, I may compile it and put it into a self-published book on Amazon.
Nice.
fair enough.
With the calendar.
You and your beefcake calendars. But anyway,
I say it's all Wisconsin cows.
is a beefcake the same as a cow pie?
It could be.
Okay. Anyway, we'll end on that note. Thank you to everyone. We will see you next week.